go.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome to today's weekly DVMUG meeting. Today's Tuesday, November the 25th, 2025. As you can see from the splash screen, I have news and some videos which are listed underneath that. They're not too long, a couple of short ones and a couple of longer on the longer side. Uh, John's gonna put the links to all this over in Zoom chat, and also at the BB is going to be posted on the BBS. And if you still don't have BBS, John and Ann are your people to get a hold of regarding a user ID and password. So mm, don't delay. There's a whole bunch of other stuff on BBS that you can look at and read. Then ask for help and all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, I have a question to put my in myself. So. Anyway, this is going to later on is going to be recorded. This is being recorded, and later on it's going to be available on YouTube. So without further delay, let's uh, let's go ahead and have me remind you of stuff like update. Please update your equipment because it's being updated like almost all the time nowadays. So, and especially now with all this going on that I'm being told. But anyway, just remember to keep your equipment up to date. And here we go with the news. Good news. A new HomePod. It's a rumor, but a HomePod with a screen and a HomePod Mini coming soon. And matter of fact, by the end of this year, I believe. So, just as on my side, I always wanted the little mini one, so maybe this time I will get one. And so again, the URL is there, and this is also available every place else if you want to read more about this article. So if anybody planning on getting one of those, or I know Ann has one, but and I don't, I'm planning on one, but that's about it. I
Probably
like the
not,
orange one myself.
probably not coming now for the end of the year because it's too late. We're into December. They would have done it already for the holiday shopping. Well, there are a
Yeah.
lot of blowouts on Black Friday coming already in advance. So lots of stuff on sale on Amazon, big discounts on there on all kinds of stuff. So if you're looking to buy something, check the prices first on the Amazon and see what kind of deals you can get. I see AirPod Pro 2s are down to half price, 129.
I need another set of those, to tell you the truth. But by the way, that's a great piece of equipment. I have them right now. They're the aids are on. I can hear. There's other stuff that I'm trying to somehow screen out, but it does a wonderful job. So, if any more questions? No more questions. Let's go on. Next one. Not too good. The next iPhone Air update is up in the air. Uh, it seems to be um, not selling well. They're saying that some manufacturers are not producing and some are refusing to make it or something like that. So it's too bad because it's a nice phone. But I don't think, according to this article again, uh, it's having issues. So anybody out there have one? It's waiting for an update? No, but if not, here we go. And another thing, 2026 is shaping up to be the year of the Mac. My gosh, according to this article, everything's getting updated. I'm telling you, there is M's left and right. M4, M5, M5 Pro, M5 Ultra. Goodness, how many M's are there? But anyway, everything is getting updated in 2026. So if you are planning on buying something, I would read this article and say, can I wait till 26 when all this stuff gets updated to faster, uh, faster chips? And apparently the I don't know if they're really faster. Well, according to this article, they're faster and they're running cooler because of the design of the chip. So if you're buying or if you're planning on one, unlike me, I bought one M4, so I'm stuck with it for a while. But if you're planning, worth thinking about. And again, there is the URL that you can go and read more about. Anybody planning on getting something new?
The truth is, these things are so damn fast, or if you're a normal user, you don't need an M5.
Very
Right?
true.
You can get an M4 MacBook Air right now on Amazon for $749. If you're
Uh,
shopping price, that's hard to beat. That's the current model, base model, not an outdated model. That's what's currently in the Apple Store for like whatever, 9.95 or something. So
well, I have an M1 Mac, and I don't see any need for upgrading or anything, but it's 5 years old, and so I'm looking at something to replace it with. And I like the smaller footprint, so I might be getting one. Anyway, here goes with the next one. And again, this thing just won't go away. This this outfit, Massimo, has been awarded 634 million in the Apple Watch patent infringement thing. Um, I thought that went away, but apparently it didn't. And believe it or not, the Trade Commission, the U.S. Trade Commission, is looking into the arrangement that they've made in prior agreement, and they want to find out if Apple's actually following up on the arrangement that they agreed upon, just to make sure that they're not infringing on this patent that already exists out there. So just let you know that that watch out there, although I don't know what the result or what the side effects are, but apparently this company is getting paid for it. So just something to to think about. I guess somebody, or I heard someone out there had a new one of those new watches with one of those options, but I don't know if it's going to go away or not, but here it is. So this is, I put this in here because of the last upgrade to iPad OS. Believe it or not, for those of you, and this includes Rick, I believe he's got the most current. It looks more like a Mac. An iPad looks more like a Mac nowadays than it ever did before. And I had to deal with that because my wife's got one. As a matter of fact, it's one of the new ones. And I had no idea until she came over to me saying, "What is this? Why are these, why doesn't this look like it used to?" And here I am looking at the stop and go lights, the red, green, and yellow dots in the upper left-hand corner. I figured out, well, the update took place. But anyway, so uh there is this URL that's out there, and later on I have Ellen actually explaining the real changes that took place. So this is just saying that the changes to the liquid glass thing and the look of it, it's actually resembling a Mac more than anything else.
So
Anybody who's got
Bruce,
any,
so Bruce, isn't that aren't those features off by default,
Yes.
and you have to actually turn them on to get them?
Yes. When you upgrade to 20 iOS iPad 26, it comes up with a dialog box that says, "Do you want to turn this on, or do you want to keep what they call single use window? It's full screen and there's no windowing." And it gives you the choice. And, even if you don't, after the fact, you can go into settings and turn it on or off, which I did. I thought, oh, this is so cool. I turned it on, and like mostly I use it in bed when I'm watching TV or reading or something. And I was constantly opening these windows and like having to close them and goofing up, and like that's not what I wanted to do. I wasn't doing two things at once. So I turned it off.
well, I don't have an iPad and she hogs it, meaning I didn't want to say that. I mean, she likes her iPad. So I keep telling her, keep updating all this stuff, and all of a sudden she comes back with this, what is this about? And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, it's updated. Anyway, um, yeah, it was probably an option in there. And matter of fact, when I got in there, there's an option to turn it on and off, and there's three different. It even has uh expose you option to turn it on. There are three different ways of looking at all this stuff, and one of them is expose. So I like it. I mean, I was after a while, I was totally familiar with it. So
So you have a an iPad deficiency. I wonder if Santa is listening.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, although I don't see a sign, but we have cameras all over the place, so
So do we just
never
need to
know.
talk louder?
There you go.
Send a
Okay.
send a blimp over Bruce's house.
Hey, I'm
So
not that heavy.
so here's the next thing. Tim Cook is stepping down at the end of the year, or as soon as possible, or as soon as next year. So apparently, Apple is going to replace him with the vice president of engineering hardware, and we'll just keep on trucking.
Maybe he needs more quality time with his MAGA family at the White House.
You know,
This is
with the
rumor.
kind
This
with
is
the kind
rumor.
of money this man makes, I would jump at the chance to just, you know, take it and go out and enjoy myself instead of fighting this and fighting that, screaming at that and that, the other. Are you kidding me? It's like,
It,
and I'm not trying to be funny, but trying to be I mean, when you're the president of the United States, which we don't want to talk about, I guess that the salary is $445,000. Can you imagine how much Tim Cook makes?
Yeah.
Not having to worry about all this. Yeah.
but
Yep.
this is also rumor, and the current rumor is this is not true. You read where this all comes from is was it Bloomberg? What's the guy's name? Grumman? I can't remember his name, but that's where all the rumors come from because he's got an inside track. And he said all this stuff is all rumor. It's probably not how it's going to happen. So
Well,
the rumor is
yeah,
he's going to just be the chairman of the board now and still do the
yeah,
political
yeah.
stuff. And because all his connections with Japan and all that stuff, he'd do that and turn over the hardware, stuff to somebody else. And maybe even there's a rumor there's going to be co-CEOs and split the job, or who knows he's not going to go away. He's not just going to go away.
Well,
So,
I
John,
mean,
your volume is a little on the low side. Maybe it's because you're sitting back from your mic.
Me?
Yeah.
yeah, you're probably right, John.
Input volume. Okay, you want me to turn it up? Okay, I can't adjust it in Zoom.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's time to pass the reins to somebody a little younger. Like maybe come up with
he's
different
been
ideas. And
Yeah, how about somebody more
he's
creative?
been in
there you
charge for
go.
longer than Steve Jobs was in charge. He's been there for
Yeah.
15 years or something.
How about somebody that thinks out of a box? Uh, so, but anyway, them it's just it's just time. We don't know for sure, but in the rumors, like John said, but who knows? So next, if it's so, let it be, and we wish you the best, and let's move on. So here we go with some videos, and the first one is how to use what I was just talking about. How to use. This is Ellen. She's going to explain it in detail. The changes that were implemented when iOS 26, I mean iPadOS 26 took into effect.
Hi everyone, Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS. Today I'm so excited to show you one of the biggest new changes in iPadOS 26, the brand new Windows feature. If you've ever wished your iPad could work more like a computer with apps that open in their own resizable windows, you're going to love this update. And don't worry, I'll walk you through step by step so you can feel comfortable using it, even if you've never tried multitasking before. Let's get started. In earlier versions of iPadOS, we had split view and slide over to juggle apps. Those worked, but they were a little confusing and felt limited. Now with iPadOS 26, Apple has given us a much simpler way apps can open in their own windows just like on a Mac or PC. That means you can move, resize, and arrange the apps however you like. Here's how it works. We're going to open any app like we normally do. So for right now, let me open Safari, and we're going to gently swipe up from the bottom to access the dock. But before we do that, if we want to have multiple windows open, you want to resize this window first. So if I go ahead and just open another app, let me just show you what will happen. If I just open another app, you're going to see that it immediately covers. And if I swipe halfway up the screen, it's still there, but they're full screen. So let's go back to Safari because that was the app we opened first. And you'll see in this bottom right corner, there's a little half moon circle. Just drag it and you can resize the window this way. Now, when we come back into the dock area, or we can even go to the app library, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and open the Notes app from the dock area. Now I can resize this window, and you're going to see behind it is Safari that we've already opened. And let's go ahead and drag one more. So this time, instead of opening, I'm going to drag and just drop it. And again, we're going to resize the Mail app. So instead of squeezing side by side, iPadOS 26 will pop it into its own floating window. You can open multiple apps this way, such as Mail, Safari, Notes, Messages, all in their own separate windows. The best part, you're not stuck with the screen splitting in half anymore. To move any of these windows, all you need to do is grab this top bar of the app and drag it to where you want it to go. And then I can position the windows anywhere I want. So let me tap on Safari, and I'm just going to drag it below. And I can also continue to resize if necessary. I can move the Notes app up here. I could move this down here to the middle to give it a little more room. So anytime you want to resize, just grab the corner, and you can grab any corner. So I can grab any corner that I want to, inward or outward, and take it back to full screen if I want. So if I want to go to full screen, I can just double tap on the top bar and it'll snap it into full screen. And then if I want, I can go ahead and grab this line and drag it back down and position that window wherever I want it to be. This makes multitasking much easier because you can set up your screen exactly the way you like it. Here's an example. Let's say you're planning a trip. You can keep Safari open in one window to look up hotels or places you want to visit. You can have the Notes app open in another window to jot things down. And maybe you want the Mail app open to be able to, send a message out. So let me show you. I created a little message here. So maybe you want to open the Mail app and have a message ready to send to your friends so that you can plan your vacation. Or maybe you're following one of my iPhone tutorials. You can have YouTube playing in a small window on the side while keeping the Settings app open to follow along step by step. This flexibility is a game changer, especially for those of us who like to work at our own pace without flipping back and forth between screens. Now you might be thinking, Ellen, what if I get lost with too many windows? Don't worry, Apple has made that simple too. What we want to do is swipe up from the bottom edge of the iPad screen just a little bit, and you're going to see all of your floating windows appear in a layout called the window picker. From there, you can tap to switch. So I can tap to bring one to the forefront. Let me swipe up again. I can close the ones I don't need. So if I tap on one and I tap, this is almost like working with a Mac up in the upper left corner. I can come up here and highlight those three dots, which you see on a Mac, highlight them and tap the red one, and that will close the windows, or I can bring the important windows to the front. A quick note, the Windows feature works best on newer iPads, like the iPad Pro models, iPad Air with the M series chip, and the newer iPads that support iPadOS 26. If your iPad is older, you'll still get the update, but you might not see every advanced multitasking option. So why is this such a big deal? Because it makes the iPad feel like a true laptop replacement. You don't need to be a tech expert to use it. Just drag, drop, and arrange. For seniors especially, this means less confusion and more control. You can keep the apps you need in front of you, make the text bigger by resizing the window, and keep distractions tucked away. That's the new Windows feature in iPadOS 26, a whole new way to multitask on your iPad. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss my upcoming videos where I'll dive deeper into other new iPadOS 26 features.
Oh, there we go.
She
She didn't mention
she didn't
another.
mention the
There
menus.
are
She didn't mention
three
the menuing
different.
feature.
I'm sorry.
She did not mention the menus at the top of the windows.
Right, and the dock on the bottom, and there is another feature where you can there there is on the left-hand side, you can have a sidebar with all the windows open. So all you do is point to whichever app you want to open up, and it opens up a full screen. Well, that um, doesn't open up a full screen. It leaves the sidebar going, I mean showing, but it opens up a screen large enough for somebody to work with on a smaller iPad. I forget, I don't have it in front of me. I forget what that
That's
option.
Stage Manager.
Stage Manager. There we go. And it opens up Stage Manager, and that's wonderful. That resolved all the problems. There is peace uh, in the
That
kitchen.
actually existed in iOS, iPadOS 18 as well.
So
We
she did, in one of the windows she had, you did notice there was a menu. The menu doesn't go at the top of the screen like on a Mac that's always there and never changes positions. The menu is at the top of each window for each app, and it's different for each app. It's not an extensive as it is on the Mac, but they can pull it down. You can get pulled down. You can see options and things that say what it is, and you can click on, so you can find stuff, so you can do things.
That's right. She didn't mention that either. But it looks more like a Mac than anything else. I mean, so it's okay. At least it's not foreign looking to me. But anyway,
So are those menu features available even if you're in the single app mode?
I
you
think
know,
they're
you have me at a disadvantage.
That's a good question.
What was the question?
Are the pull down menus available even if you're in single app mode?
No,
Right.
no. Full screen mode, no. They come from the windowing system.
Oh, full screen. Okay.
And they're dependent on each app. Each app has its own menuing system, so there's no standard, file edit, view, go. So they're particular to that app. But some of them may be the same, like cut, copy, paste. So you don't have to push and hold and get a pop-up and says you select all that kind of stuff. Standard stuff is in there.
So
Somebody has a question in the chat. Ooh, sorry, something came up. Oh, okay, Rick's leaving. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so I see this as being useful on a Mac Pro with a big screen, and you're doing work and between different apps, and you want to get stuff done in two apps and move things, drag and drop between windows like you can on a Mac. I see that being useful.
yeah.
I think that's what it's for people. It always was said that the iPad Pro software, I mean, the iPad Pro hardware that has the M processors, the hardware was way ahead of the software. So it didn't really have powerful features in the software to go along. Well, now it does.
Mm-hmm.
Because now in the Files app in iOS, also this is only iPadOS. You don't get windowing features on the phone. Phone screen's not big enough. But with the
I
Files,
just checked Kenji's question. Even if the apps are full screen, the menu can still come down from the top. So the menus have been added regardless of how you're looking at an app.
but you have
Oh,
to have the
really?
window. You have to have the windowing feature enabled. If you don't have the windowing feature enabled, you
I'm
won't
not
get
sure
the,
of that.
yeah, you won't get that. It's part of the feature of the windowing system. Otherwise, if you don't turn it on, your iPad works exactly the same as it always has. Single user mode. Single windowing mode, whatever they call it. Look at what they name these things. Settings.
Anybody else? Did this create problems or resolve problems for us? I guess in my case,
So if you want to try this, she didn't even tell you how to turn it on. It's in settings, multitasking and gesturing and gestures. So there's three choices. full screen
Right.
apps, which is normal, but you're used to windowed apps, and you can only choose one of them, and then you can still choose Stage Manager, which existed before. So there's 3 modes you can be in.
The windowing works in Stage Manager mode as well.
Yeah, it's just it's the old system that existed before 26, which they kept for some reason, because people were used to it. I don't know. And it works on the current generation 11, the current low-end iPad which is on sale on Amazon now for $279. It works.
That's a nice iPad.
Yeah, for the money, it sure is.
That kind of money, huh. I mean, it doesn't do certain things, couple of things, but geez, you don't really need a pro to do everything you need to do. So anyone else? It's actually well, to me anyway, it was a refreshing change.
So once we get to Q&A, if people are interested, I could try to share this iPad and show
Okay.
you how it works, but that's for after the videos.
All right, and so here we go with, let me get there. This is for how to tame, and I've been having issues trying to decide between one or the other. And anyway, how to tame liquid glass on your iMac. Gary goes through some steps that I tried, and I'm trying to decide which one I like better. So here we go.
Well, I have a question about that.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. If you're not a fan of the new liquid glass look of macOS Tahoe, let me show you some ways you can tone it down a bit. Now, a lot of people like the new look of macOS in macOS Tahoe. It's called liquid glass, and it's the same across all the other platforms too, like iOS and iPadOS. That in itself is a big deal because previously Apple kind of played leapfrog with designs, introducing something in one of those operating systems and then the next year bringing it to the others. I also like that Apple's still innovative and likes to try new things when it comes to design. But I understand that not every design choice is for everyone. So there are some ways to tone down the look a little bit if you'd rather things not be, say, so transparent. For instance, the first thing you may notice when you go to macOS Tahoe is the menu bar is no longer a bar. You have the menus here at the top, but there's no bar there that they sit on. However, you can bring that bar back. Go into System Settings and then go to Menu Bar. And one of the first options here at the top is Show Menu Bar Background. Simply turn that on, and now you're going to see an actual bar appear. The bar will take on the color of the wallpaper. So if you don't like blue, you could just change the wallpaper or create your own. If I go into wallpapers here, for instance, if I switch back to the Sequoia wallpaper, you can see how it changes color there. If I select my own photo, you can see how it picks up tones from that photo there. And I can even go all the way down to the bottom here and choose a specific color, like this purple. And you can see how it's basically just a darker color for the menu bar. So the menu bar itself doesn't have a particular color. It's picking up the color from the wallpaper. Now, a big part of liquid glass is the glass part. You can see it very clearly here in the dock, where the dock appears to be pretty transparent. And also, if you go to Control Center here, you can see the controls are also pretty transparent. They're like little panes of glass over the wallpaper behind it. You can tone that down almost completely with one setting. Go into System Settings and then go to Accessibility. Then under Vision, go to Display. And there's a setting here for Reduce Transparency. This is actually not a new setting. A lot of user interface elements have been somewhat transparent for years. It's just now in liquid glass, they're very transparent. So if you turn this switch on, it will change things quite a bit. Notice how the menu bar here is definitely not as transparent as it was before. Neither is the dock, and neither is Control Center. Matter of fact, it has a whole background now behind all the elements. So this is by far the most dramatic change you can make, simply by reducing transparency. And while we're here, you can also turn on increased contrast, which, by the way, requires reduced transparency. It will go on automatically if you select increased contrast. When you turn that on, you even get more of an effect. You get an outline around all the different elements. You can see like that. And things are even less transparent than they were. And things stand out with way more contrast because of all of that. While this is all under accessibility, I find that this is a really neat, dramatic look that kind of makes your Mac look different than everybody else's. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You could read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. Now, there's another setting that seems like it would also have a big effect, but it doesn't, except for one thing. If you go to System Settings and Appearance, there's a setting here for Tint Window Background with Wallpaper Color. And this seems like it would really change things a lot if you turned it off. But if I turn this off, you don't notice any change at all. However, that's because it has to do more with darker windows. For instance, take a look at this Pixelmator Pro window. The developer here has chosen to use dark window colors. You obviously can see it's dark grays here instead of the typical white. Now, notice what happens to this window if I turn off Tint Window Background with Wallpaper Color. You can see it definitely affects it. So as you might be able to guess, if you change to dark mode, which happens to be right here in Appearance, but you can also go to Control Center and then Display and then turn on dark mode there. Now we're in dark mode here, and I know a lot of you like using dark mode. Then if you go and turn off Tint Window Background with Wallpaper Color, it does make a difference. With it on, there's definitely the slightest blue tinge from the wallpaper that is shown in this window. And if I turned it off, I lose that little bit of blue. It's going to be different in different windows depending upon the shade of the color used in the window. But there is a minor change. But my point really is that this setting here isn't the dramatic change you might think it is. It's really in accessibility, display, reduce transparency that you get the biggest change. So let's take a look at some other settings that don't necessarily change how liquid glass looks, but it does change how your Mac looks in general, so it may help you like things a little bit better. For instance, we already took a look at light versus dark mode. So maybe if previously you used light mode, but now you don't like how things look because of liquid glass, maybe it's time to try dark mode and see if you like that better, or vice versa. Also, right here in System Settings Appearance, you've got the icon and widget styles. Now, if you don't like liquid glass, you're definitely not going to like setting the icons here in the dock and elsewhere to clear, right? That's just more glass. And tinted also is kind of more glass, just with a color. But in addition to the default look for icons and items here in the sidebar, there's also the dark look for them. Give that a try. Maybe this dark look makes things just a little bit better for you. Likewise, let's talk about widgets. I'm going to Control click, right click, or two-finger click here on the desktop. And let's say you've got some widgets here on your desktop. I'll just add here a quick clock, maybe a battery widget here, maybe calendar. You get the idea. And notice how these have kind of a glass look to them. Well, if you go into System Settings and then you go to Desktop and Dock, you can change from glass for the widgets to having the widgets never dimmed. They're always going to be color like this. And then if you go back into Accessibility and then Display and turn on that Reduce Transparency, then they'll be even less transparent. And here's a good example of how increased contrast will add even more opaqueness to them. But liquid glass or no liquid glass, the biggest design element on your Mac is usually the wallpaper. So you've got this new wallpaper here that's part of macOS Tahoe. Maybe The problem really is that this wallpaper isn't for you, which is fine because you have so many wallpaper options. Go into System Settings and then go down to Wallpaper. So for instance, you could simply change back to the Sequoia wallpaper, or you even go further back with, say, the Sonoma wallpaper or one of the earlier versions here. You can choose your own photo as a wallpaper and choose from a variety of different photos if you want. There are a lot of different choices here for dynamic wallpapers that you can choose. Apple also has a bunch of pictures if you don't want to bring your own picture to it. Ones that are new, ones that have been available in the past. There's a lot of different ones. I actually really like the ones that are at the top here under dynamic wallpapers that are these illustrations like this one here. These were introduced a few years ago. And also at the bottom, you can just go with a color. Just use a solid color. You can even use the plus button and choose your own color, anything that you want to be your background. And if you like the idea of a photo, but you don't have your own, Apple's got a whole bunch of different ones here at the bottom. But you're not only stuck with just photos. You can, if you want, add your own and make it a graphic. So you can click Add Photo and you could choose File. And you could choose any file you really want. So for instance, I created a custom wallpaper here. I just made this in Keynote. It's just basically a couple of shapes. You see the sun here in the corner, this bonsai tree, and the bird here, just over a gradient, just some basic stuff. And again, I'm going for a pretty flat look here to kind of tone down Liquid Glass a bit. So even if you don't like the changes that constitute Liquid Glass, it doesn't prevent you from customizing the look of your Mac in other ways that can make it feel more like you want. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Well,
So
anybody have any questions?
there's something about this video. It's old. It does not, he did not show the new feature in 26.1, which actually has what he talked about in accessibility is there, but in appearance system settings appearance, there's actually at the top a liquid glass toggle for clear or tinted, which is supposed to reduce this effect, but it doesn't work very much.
And you know, I tried that and I just can't figure out what he's really talking about. I don't, maybe it's my eyesight and that kind of stuff. But one thing he didn't, he did mention, I give him everything. He didn't include, it's one thing working with a 27-inch monitor like mine right here compared to a 14-inch laptop. For example, the reason I have chosen my old background is because I like this tree that grows in Martinez. Well, it's nice, but if I turn the uh, top, uh, what do you call the screen on where all the icons are, uh, that takes up real estate. However, on a 27-inch monitor, it takes up very little, which obliterates the top of my tree. But you can also imagine if it's on a laptop and you do the same, how much less of a real estate you're gonna end up with. And he doesn't mention that. I
I
do
don't
have a
understand.
laptop and I tried it on both, and I noticed that on a laptop it takes. I don't want that feature. I
What
want
real
to see
estate,
it.
what real estate are you talking about? I'm not following.
Well, the screen size, and I have my apologies to you. You posed a question uh last time, and I went on. So can you answer? I mean, can you pose it again
What
when we get time?
what question?
I don't know the last video I showed about.
I don't know.
But anyway, on a smaller screen, that menu bar on top takes up real estate. In other words, take up space of the smaller screen. And I rather do without it. In other words, make it see-through You use the liquid glass, so it is using up the whole screen.
Okay.
Otherwise, that menu bar takes up, I don't know, half an inch.
You can
Maybe.
also set the menu bar so it's like the dock where it only appears when you hover over it.
Uh,
If you go,
no, mine stays on all the time.
well, it's a setting.
Yeah. The Zoom, your Zoom workplace, this whole thing with all my other icon there right there, the keyboard, the English, the speaker, Bluetooth, and so on, the Wi-Fi, all that up in the corner, right-hand corner. If I turn that menu bar, turn off the liquid glass, then it takes up about a half an inch at the top. Now, like I said, 27 inch is fine. I mean, it's no big deal. But on a smaller screen, he didn't say anything about. Anyway, enough me ranting and raving here. Anybody else have anything to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say that with 26.1, I no longer feel the need to reduce transparency or increase contrast. I think it was
Yeah, I don't.
both those turned off now.
Uh, uh, yeah, same here. I turned it off. Uh, so
That's
I
just because
guess,
you've gotten used to it.
yeah, I was just gonna. That's possibly exactly that. Yeah, turned it
You know,
off. I'm blaming it on real estate, but probably just got used to it.
the tinted thing that they put in 26.1 doesn't make a lot of difference when you do it.
Some
So,
things.
so in system settings under menu bar, the very top thing is automatically hide and show the menu bar, and you can choose in full screen only, always or never.
Oh well, I have it set on never,
Yeah,
Okay,
so I
you
want to
might
see
want to
that.
try.
it's a new feature.
You might want to try if
Yeah.
you have your dock set so that it only appears when you go to the bottom.
Always shows at the bottom. Also,
I have my dock always hide at the bottom unless I
well,
go
I
to
can
it.
do that, but
And now you can do
I
that with the menu bar as well.
no, believe it or not, I do that on my MacBook Air. I've got the dock hiding, and I don't know about the top, but menu bar, but I know I've got the dock hiding at the on MacBook Air.
Let's move on to another video and save this extended
Okay.
discussion for Q&A.
All right. So here we go. Ah. This is how to stop iPhone apps from tracking you. And I've got another article that I want to talk about this afterwards. But anyway, so Ellen's going to show us how to turn all this stuff so we don't get so we're not tracked.
So she's talking about
Hi
location.
everyone. If we haven't met, I'm Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. Today we're talking about something very important: location services and your privacy. I'll show you how to control which apps on your iPhone can access your location and why you might want to do that. Whether you're using an iPhone for the first time or you've had one for years, this is a really useful topic to cover. So let's get started. Your iPhone has a feature called Location Services. This lets apps know where you are so that your map app can give you directions, your weather app knows what to show you, and your health or fitness apps can track where you walk. But here's the thing. If apps you don't need are using your location, it can feel intrusive. It could also affect battery life because your iPhone is doing more tracking behind the scenes. So the question is, How much location access should you give? How much should you hold back? I'll walk you through that next. If you want to stop all apps from knowing your location, maybe because you're very privacy minded or you don't use apps that need location services, you can turn location services off. Here's how. The first thing we're going to do is locate and open the Settings app. So here's what the Settings app looks like. You can search for it if you need to. Open the Settings app. We're going to scroll down and we're going to locate Privacy and Security. Now, if you're on an older iOS, it may just say Privacy, depending on what version you're on. We're going to tap Privacy and Security, and then we're going to tap on Location Services. And here, I can toggle off Location Services. It's going to ask me to confirm that. You would tap Turn Off, and now all location services would be turned off. So no app on your iPhone will be able to use your location. So if you turn location services off, apps like Maps, Find Mine, or Weather might stop working as expected. That's why for many of us, we can use a more careful approach. Let me show you. Rather than turning off location entirely, a smarter approach for many seniors and anyone using an iPhone is to customize location access on a per app basis. This lets your important apps use location when they need it and stops others that don't need your location. So again, we're going to open the Settings app. You're going to go to Privacy or Privacy and Security and Location Services. I'm already in there. So you want to be sure that Location Services is turned on if you want some apps to use it. Then you would scroll through the list of apps under the Location Services heading. You'll see each app, and beside one, you'll see something like Never, Ask Next Time, While Using, or Always. So let's go ahead and locate the Maps app. And you'll see that on the Maps app, I have While Using the app checked off. I also have Precise Location. So this helps if you're always relying on navigation. And if you want accurate positioning, you'll turn on Precise Location. For another app, I'm going to tap on the back arrow. And this time, let's locate, I don't see a news app, but I'm just going to open the Health app. And so when I open the Health app, I have While Using the app, and I have Precise Location on so that it tracks me, when I'm walking. I'm going to tap back again. And this time, I'm going to go into my bank app. Notice I say never on this. I don't need my bank to track my location. So location is off and you don't see Precise Location. So only if I want to, I can come back in and turn that on. But I just don't feel that my bank needs to know my location. So by taking these steps, you give the right apps access to location when needed and protect your privacy and phone battery from other apps that don't. For many seniors, that means a safe, efficient iPhone experience. There are a few more things you should know about. If you share my location, which you can see here, this would be if you had family sharing available to you and maybe you want a loved one to be able to find you via the Find My app. So again, we come back into the Location Services area and it says Share My Location. If I tap on that, I can turn Find My iPhone on or off. This should always be on in case you lose your device, and so you want to keep that on there. But this option, Share My Location, you can toggle that switch off if you don't want to share your location with anyone. So as you can see, I have family members that are sharing my location, but most of them cannot see where my location is. I've turned it off. So I can tap on that and come into here. And if I want to, I can tap on Share My Location, and then that individual will be able to see where I am. If you notice your battery draining quickly, or you see an arrow in the status bar, meaning location is being used, check which apps are using location and whether they really need it or not. Now let's talk about precise location. I'm going to back out of here. Precise location, you can do that on a per app basis. So that means the app can see only your approximate area. So if I come into the Map app and I turn off precise location, now it can't see the exact spot I'm in. And so that's useful for privacy concerns. But when you're using the Maps option, you really do want a precise location. So I can go ahead and toggle that switch back on. You want to revisit your settings periodically. Apps update. You install new apps, and you may change how you use your iPhone. Every few months, it's wise to check your location settings again and make sure only the apps you trust and use have location access. So why go through all this? Because controlling your location access gives you more privacy, fewer apps tracking your every move, better battery life, fewer apps using GPS when they don't need to, and peace of mind. You know exactly which apps can see where you are. And as someone who values simplicity and control on your Apple devices, especially for seniors, these steps help you feel confident, safe, and in command of your.
Oh, yeah, I've got basically all that turned off. But not all of it. Anybody else have comments or questions about that?
I have
the
most
Apple
of mine
stuff,
set to allow while using.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
There are apps I need, like the primary one is Uber Driver that requires you to have it on at all times. But when I'm not driving, I turn that off too.
The Apple apps are probably okay. You don't have to worry about those, I don't think.
Kenji, you started talking about cars, and a few days ago I came across an article in the paper saying new cars are the worst offenders for tracking you.
Absolutely. Smart TVs, what you're watching.
And the next is smart TVs. The two South Korean manufacturers and one Sony. Oh, sorry, one Japanese.
Those can be turned off in both the TV and in the car.
That's correct. It's got to be turned off, and or in the case of the Japanese manufacturers, you have to actually turn it off and go into request your data to be deleted or something from their own servers, because they have their own servers. Regarding cars, it's even worse than TVs because they use third-party server companies to keep their data. And it's like the only thing you can do is go into settings and request that your data be deleted and so on and so forth. I was never aware of cars
There's an
doing
upside to
that, but
that. The upside to that is if you crash, they know where to come and find you.
yes. And according to this article that I read, it says depending on what you're going to be turning off, you could be getting yourself in trouble. Basically, what was just said. If you turn off the wrong thing and you do crash, you better have some other way of notifying the authorities because the car is not going to be able to. And basically, the car has got the same thing that you carry on your phone.
Mike's got his hand up. You have a question?
Well, that was going to be my question. Now bear in mind the newest car vehicle I own, I have a 61 Volkswagen and I have a 2015 Toyota.
Cool.
And the thought of having my car know where the hell I am is just foreign to me. But that's true. Cars have their own thing. If you have it on
Yeah,
your, why would you want your car to have it?
that's the whole thing. Just to follow up on you, on your statement here. My wife's got a 1920, I'm sorry, 22, 2022 Volkswagen
Hmm?
that collects everything you can possibly think of.
Oh, good night.
Uh, uh. But anyway, I turned
Insurance
off
companies,
stuff.
some insurance companies use that data to rate you as well
I
as how
know.
fast do you drive, how fast do you stop.
Yeah, there's just more reasons to turn it off and not even have it, you know?
Yeah.
But there's reasons to have it too if you crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't your phone notify you that? I mean, now you're watching your phone say, "Have you fallen down?" And if
Oh,
you,
I'll
now
take,
you're really
I'll take
getting,
2 chances of being rescued rather than one.
yeah, but like
So
you said,
here,
when it starts affecting your insurance and everything else, and then you know,
so here's a story. This is what you don't want to do. Turn off location services and completely. So how I think it's somebody was maybe at the clinic or was at the office when I noticed it. Somebody had a phone and they went on a trip to China and took all these pictures. And then when you open the Photos app, it didn't know where all these pictures were taken because she had location services turned off. So she has
yeah.
all these pictures all over China. She has no idea where they were taken. There's no way to fix it after the fact.
well, not even when you travel to China or Greece or Italy or any place else. Even other photos, you're going, where the hell was that now? Where the hell was that? I mean,
You gotta have it
Yeah.
on for photos. It takes you exactly where, and then you can search the map and show me only the photos from Beijing, or not all over China, just the ones there.
you
You
know,
can drill down to right where you were in the town and find the restaurant or whatever.
show me the Martinez photos or the Vegas photos or whatever.
In our
Yeah,
younger days, there wasn't a problem.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't believe when I read about TVs. According to what this article thing that I've got here, every 17 seconds they take a picture of your screen and send it to their servers. They build some kind of a profile for you so you get odd that I thought the commercials that you see are done from from a uh,
They're
from
goofing
like a
off the Tina. So what you do
from a
is
TV station.
you can't buy a TV that's not a smart TV these days. So
You
what
just turn
what
it
you
off.
do, you can use an external device. Well, also the Roku and those things, the Fire Stick and the Google Chrome, those may very well send data. The Apple TV doesn't do that.
Yeah,
So I actually bought not a TV. I bought a 4K HDR monitor, so it has no TV in it. And I use the Apple TV box. So that why do you need a smart TV when you were running, your DirecTV stream service is running on an app on the Apple TV. You don't need a TV. I never use the TV part of my TV. I never did before.
But are you able to buy TVs that are not smart TVs
No,
nowadays?
no, I
Yeah,
bought
that's
a
what I thought.
monitor. I bought a 4K HDR monitor.
Yeah,
TV. It has HDMI. You plug in the Apple TV box into that and use the remote. Put
okay,
your
okay.
Comcast or your DirecTV Stream or your Google TV, whatever you use for TV, on there, and you use that as your TV service. You don't
Huh?
need
But
the
if you have a,
smart TV.
but if you have a smart TV and you do not connect it to a network, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
That's
Sure.
correct. That's
And
right.
use a how do you get your, well, if you're doing,
From a streaming box.
I think if you're hooking it up, how are you viewing your Comcast? How does that hook up to your TV with the Comcast box that goes into HDMI, right?
Well, if you're streaming, you're just
Well,
uh
the
Ethernet.
Comcast box is doing this, capturing your data for you. They know what you're doing.
Yeah,
It's
they're
the
the
smart
worst.
box.
But anyway, it just opened up my eyes that this stuff is actually looking at you, not you physically, but what you're watching.
I think the answer is you're the product.
Now, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Who is watching you where?
The smart TV actually take pictures of your screen every 17 seconds, according to this article, and send it to a server farm someplace, which then deals in what advertisement you see on TVs when you're watching stuff.
Oh, so you're not talking about watching you. You're talking about it's seeing what you're watching.
They don't
No,
know
it's just what you're watching.
specifically.
They're not looking at you.
They don't
Go
know
ahead and turn it off.
specifically. They don't know specifically who you are, but they know your device is doing this
Right.
stuff, and they
Right.
aggravate it and say, and they build a database of all this stuff. Oh, it's kind of like a built-in Nielsen. They can tell how many people are watching whatever and
Yep.
what time and what they're, all that stuff, and they could conceivably tailor stuff that's built to you and send you direct commercials based on cookies, basically, for what you're watching on TV to send you,
No.
ads.
It's easy to turn off on the TV as far as the built-in smart.
Okay. The turning it off is what they recommend, and then accepted. Then they said, and then if you turn everything off, you're not going to get updates. Like firmware updates. So they said every year connect it to Wi-Fi. Connect it to Ethernet. Get the firmware update and disconnect it.
Actually, I have a Sony Smart TV, and I can turn off the monitoring, and I still can leave the Wi-Fi on, and I'm still notified of updates.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forget Sony's name for it. They have a name for it.
Okay. Yeah, something.
Let's see if I can find it.
I personally, I was mad that I never got offered a Nielsen box. So I don't care about the monitoring.
So, Kenji, you think they knew you anyway, and they said, "Nah, we're not going to give him one." Did you take?
We've already heard
No.
about his TV habits. We're not interested.
I thought they knew all about us as soon as we started using credit cards. They knew everything.
I think I worked off my ice cream.
Good.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, I have a short one, and that'll be it.
You sure you didn't skip something in there when you were flipping between screens?
And this is how to connect your AirPods to your iPhone or Android device.
You can use your AirPods with any Bluetooth device, including an Android device, to listen to music, take calls, and more. We'll show you how to automatically or manually connect your AirPods to an iPhone and how to connect them to an Android device. To set up your AirPods with your iPhone, make sure you have Bluetooth turned on and they'll connect automatically. Just bring them near your iPhone and open your charging case. If you're connecting AirPods Max, take them out of the smart case. When the prompt appears, tap Connect and follow the steps to finish setting them up. Tap Done when you're finished, and your AirPods are automatically set up with all of your supported devices that are signed into iCloud with the same Apple account. To customize your AirPods, just open Settings, and then tap your connected AirPods to view your options. If the setup animation doesn't appear when trying to connect your AirPods or AirPods Pro, you can connect them manually. For AirPods with a charging case that doesn't have a setup button on the back, make sure they're in their case and bring them near your iPhone. Open the lid and double tap the front of your charging case while the status light is on. The status light then flashes. For AirPods with a charging case that has a setup button on the back, make sure they're in their case and bring them near your iPhone. Open the lid, then press and hold the setup button on the back of the case until the status light flashes white. For AirPods Max, take them out of the smart case and press and hold the noise control button, which is on top of the right earphone. Once your AirPods are ready to connect, in Settings on your iPhone, tap Bluetooth. Your AirPods appear in the list of Bluetooth devices. Just select them and follow the prompts to finish connecting them to your iPhone. Tap Done when you're finished, and your AirPods are automatically set up with all of your supported devices that are signed into iCloud with the same Apple account. If you use an Android device, you can connect your AirPods using Bluetooth. In your Android settings, tap Connected Devices and tap Pair New Device. For AirPods with a charging case that doesn't have a setup button on the back, make sure they're in their case and bring them near your Android device. Then open the lid and double tap the front of your charging case while the status light is on. The status light then flashes. For AirPods with a charging case that has a setup button on the back, make sure they're in their case and bring them near your Android device. Open the lid, then press and hold the setup button on the back of your charging case until the status light flashes white. For AirPods Max, take them out of the smart case and press and hold the noise control button, which is on top of the right earphone. Your AirPods appear in the list of Bluetooth devices. Just select them and follow the prompts to connect them with your Android device. Now you can make calls, listen to a podcast, or play your favorite song on repeat with your AirPods. Some sequences in this video were short.
Anyway,
They
that's
didn't,
AirPods.
they didn't explain what an Android device is.
Yeah, well, they're usually phones like ours, but
Oh, by the way,
anyway, I wanna tell you though, I use mine. I recently had to fly across country. Believe it or not, it lasted all the way there, and it was so nice. The external noise was muted to the point where I couldn't care less how long I was on the plane. But that's just my story.
Did it
wait,
increase?
along the lines of the last issue, if you have a Sony TV, you want to go in and turn off what's called Samba, S-A-M-B-A. That's Sony's intrusive software.
So Bruce, did the AirPods improve the legroom?
I'm sorry, did the AirPods what?
Improve the legroom?
Yes. Yeah. So I got one more, and then it's over with. Anybody else have any I guess not. Then let's go and see what Dan's tutorials. And this is how to manage. You don't really have to, according to him, you don't really have to have a laptop or anything. You can do it, manage your stuff from an iPad.
In this video, we're going to take a look at your Apple account. What is your Apple account and how do you access it? Now, before we get started, I'm going to show you on an iPad with iPadOS 26. But basically, you can set up your Apple account on any device. You can set it up on your iPhone. You could set it up on your Mac. You could set it up on an Apple Vision Pro. And you access it through the Settings app. In this case, we're going to take a look at it through the iPad. Let's go over to my iPad and take a look at our Apple account. First thing we need to do is we need to open up the Settings app. As I mentioned, this is located in the Settings app. From here, what we need to do is we need to go to the very top, and you're going to see your name up here. This is where your Apple account is located. So this Apple account here is under Johnny Appleseed. To view all of the details about that Apple account, you tap on it, and then you can see all of the different information for that Apple account. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the iCloud, because iCloud is where we have all of these different services, where we can sync our notes, we can sync our reminders, our calendar, our bookmarks in Safari. We even have an email address, an iCloud.com email address. Well, under iCloud here is where we manage all of these different services that are accessible through your Apple account. So I'm going to tap on iCloud here. And then from here, we can see we have various services. We have Photos, which is going to sync all of my photos across all my different devices. I have Drive, which is like Google Drive. It's just called iCloud Drive. It's an offline storage where you can store files in the cloud. And then we also have Passwords, where it'll manage all of my passwords across all my different devices, Messages, Notes, and then Mail. But we also have more services. When I tap on See All here, I'm going to be able to see all of the different services as well as manage them. So I tap on See All, and now I can see all of those different services. And when we swipe up, you're going to see we have quite a few different services here, including services from third-party apps. So third-party apps can also use iCloud to sync their data. So what can we do here? Well, if you no longer want to sync that data, all you have to do is just turn it off. Some of the services, it's just a simple on and off switch. So if I no longer want to use Dropbox, all I have to do on my iPad here is just turn off Dropbox, and Dropbox will no longer be accessible on my iPad. It doesn't turn it off for all of Dropbox, all of my different devices. It only turns it off on this particular device, in this case here, my iPad. Now, when we swipe down, some of these you're going to see we do not have the simple slider there. You're going to see that we have just a simple on there. So how can we manage these? Well, basically all we have to do is just tap on it. Let's go over to iCloud Mail. Not a lot of people use iCloud, especially if they have a Gmail account. So basically what you want to do is you want to turn that off. Well, all you have to do is just tap on it. And then you just go over here to where it says Use on this iPad. And if we look over to the right, we're going to have a little slider there. All I have to do is just turn that slider off, and then that iCloud account will no longer be on my iPad. It doesn't turn it off permanently. It can still be on my other devices. So if you do not want to use that email address on any of your devices, you'll have to go into the Settings app and go to your Apple account and turn this off on each individual device. All this does is this just stops using it on the iPad if I turn that off. It doesn't affect your other devices at all. So that's where we can manage all of our iCloud services within our Apple account. But our Apple account does more than that. It also manages all of our different devices. So where can we find all of our different devices? Well, when we go back, I'm going to go back to my Apple account here. And now I need to go back again. And I'm looking at my Apple account here. Well, instead of going to iCloud, what I can do is I can go down to the bottom here, and you're going to see all of the different devices that I have on this iCloud account. And I can manage those as well. So if I wanted to remove one of them, I just tap on it, and I'm able to remove this from that account. So then that device will no longer be linked to that account. So in addition to managing your iCloud services, you can also manage all of your devices within that iCloud account. And that's all done in the Settings app under your name here in the upper left-hand corner. So that's what your Apple account is and how you can manage the different services that are offered through it, including iCloud services, as well as manage your different devices within that iCloud account. Again, this is all done in the Settings app. You just tap on your name, and then from there, if you want to manage your iCloud settings, you go to iCloud. If you want to manage your devices, you just swipe up and you can see all your devices on that account. So that's what your Apple account manages and how we can access it on the iPad.
So it's got nothing to do with Eddie Ramirez, the guy.
That was informative a little, where it gives you the another way of removing devices that you have that you've forgotten or something like that, been there for a while. You can actually do it from, and you don't have to have a Mac. You can do it on an iPad. You can just go over there, remove this device, and it will be removed. My question to, I know he said it will be removed from this device, but I think, does it usually, does it remove it completely from your account or just from that
Yes.
device?
No, when he says, when he went to the bottom to review the devices in your account, when you remove it from there, it takes it out of your account. So if you have Find My on your phone and you gave it to somebody else without turning off Find My, and then they can't do anything with it, they don't have to log in to your account on that phone and with your Apple ID password to turn that off. You can just go into some other device and say remove from my account, and Find My will be turned off on that device so they can erase it and use it. That's
Okay.
a useful
Okay.
thing to do.
Okay.
You don't have to give away your password or get physically control the device and to get that handled. I had somebody once, I sold an iPhone on eBay and they logged into their Apple ID and they decided they didn't want it and so wanted to send it back. I usually don't do that. I said, whatever, send it back. You pay for the shipping. I got it back and it was signed into their Apple ID with Find My turned on. So I had to email him through eBay and go through this process that he didn't know what he was doing. I had to walk him through multiple steps of messages back and forth to go into your Mac and go into iCloud down to devices and remove this phone from your account so I can erase it and start over and sell it to somebody else. Otherwise, it was a brick. He bricked it
Yeah,
because he didn't
I
know what he
see.
was doing. But it got handled and it got erased and I sold it to somebody else.
So that was my question on, and I got that resolved, I guess. But anyone else has anything to comment on regarding this? This is time. This is my at the top when we first started. Ladies get to answer. I mean, get to ask questions first.
Want to turn
So,
off the screen
ladies,
share so we can enjoy seeing the ladies?
I will stop the share.
So I just thought that feature might be useful. Say if you have a phone, an old phone laying around and you forgot the password to log into it, to unlock it, period, just to get to the settings to take it off of Find My, you could go into another device and remove it from your account, and then it would remove it from the account, and then you can set it up. You can say you press and hold, it goes into emergency access or something. You hook it to your computer and says, this is in distress mode. Would you like to erase it? And you say yes, and it would erase it. If Find My's on, it won't erase it. So you can erase it even though you don't know the password, I believe.
Well, it's good to know.
I've done that before when you don't have the password and nobody knows who owns the damn thing. So you go in and you can put it in, forget what it's called, but you press and hold, it goes in, it comes up with an iTunes and a wire and says, plug it in, this is in distress or something, and then it comes up in iTunes or in the Mac and the Finder and the new OS. I said, this iPhone needs to be erased. Would you like to erase it? It's you know, it's messed up. You say erase and it downloads the latest OS and installs it, but then when it comes back up, it says, this is locked with Find My. You need to type in the password for the Apple ID to unlock this. And but then at that point, you're done. Unless you can get a hold of that person with that Apple ID email address. It doesn't give you the whole address, it only gives you part of it. You can guess who it is and you can get a hold of them if you know who it is and say, hey, go to your Apple ID and take this out of your account so you can. I've had that happen before. And I've had phones that didn't know who it was and you just throw them away. You can't do anything. Take them to e-waste.
Okay,
How many
ladies.
people have phones laying around that they stopped using and they're in the drawer for years and they're just there and you forgot about them?
I didn't forget about it, but it's still there. The 6.
Yeah, 6, which really is not very useful now. The older it gets, the less useful it gets. And now you go to try to log into it and you don't remember what the code was.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have the AirPods and the little rubber thing goes in your ear, and then you look in settings and see if it's correctly fitting. I can never get mine to fit. Did anybody get theirs to fit?
You tried the 4 different ones?
Yeah, well, I get mixed up.
Yeah, you gotta,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to adjust them and push them in there and then they do the test till they do fit.
Do they just fall out?
Well, one of them on the right hand falls out all the time, so they were useless to me.
There are alternate tips you can buy on Amazon. They're called memory foam tips. I tried them. People claim they work better. Here's one. Can you see me?
Yeah.
They're
There's the
wonderful
brand.
though.
They weren't cheap. They're like 25 bucks. I come in there, they're 3 different sizes. They're memory foam, so they seal better theoretically. I tried them for a while. They worked, but the memory foam compressed and stopped working, so I went back to the original one. So the new AirPod Pros 3 do have memory foam, but then they have a layer of whatever hard vinyl over the outside so they don't get, they don't collapse as much as supposed. So they did take on the memory foam, which tends to seal better, and those they come with 5 different sizes on the 3s. I haven't tried them yet.
You heard from any ear doctors saying they're bad for your ears to have plug up your ears?
No, they don't plug them up.
No.
They don't go way down in your ears like
Yeah,
hearing
they
aids.
just.
Hearing aids are real small. They go down in your ear canal. These are outside your ear canal. That's why they tend to fall out.
Yeah, that's why he's got that little.
If you have AirPods,
I got those. I got that little thing.
So when they fall out, you can find them.
Yeah. I got that from Amazon. Those little.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah.
They're worth it. Tell me about it. Like, you gotta have them.
Okay.
I don't tell people use AirPods and run. You're running, they fall. Where are you gonna find them when they fall out on the trail? Like,
let's get to the basic question. I don't know why people run.
That's more like it.
Cool.
Just walk. Just walk fast for exercise. Don't run it. Wears out your knees.
There's usually a reason for that.
Someone's usually chasing you, or a dog or something. I mean, I believe I can sprint from my house front door to my car, and I'm done through the day.
Walk's good for you. Walking is okay.
These have noise canceling. So one more time, it canceled the jet engine noise beyond belief. I mean, it was wonderful.
Can you hear a siren? Can you hear a siren coming?
The earphones are designed to let in outside noise that you need. In other words, it's not noise canceling. It's canceling continuous noise that bothers the heck out of you.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I bought a pair of Bose over-the-ear headphones, and they have two settings, what they call aware and quiet. And if it's quiet, it shuts everything out. And in the aware setting, you get noise reduction, but you still can hear a little bit of what's going on outside.
Yeah.
With the air, I don't know if the over-the-air ones have microphones in them. So these actually, the AirPod Pros have microphones in them. So you can use them as hearing aids. You can turn on
Right.
conversation boost so you can transparency, and so you can go along and it'll be canceling. When you hear somebody talk to you, then it turns it off and you can hear for a little bit. But if you start talking to somebody, it actually changes and then comes back on automatically.
Yeah, it tones
It's
down your.
kind of spooky when it does.
Yeah.
By the way, for use on an airplane, there's a little gadget you can buy that plugs into the airplane sound system and serves as a Bluetooth connector for your AirPods. So you can use AirPods to listen to the music and TV shows that are provided by the airplane. It's about $50, I think, for a little adapter.
Oh,
Jan has her hand up.
yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to give Jennifer some sympathy because I had the same thing. I wanted to try the AirPods as hearing aids, and you had to go through a process and make sure you had the right size. And when I have the AirPods 2 Pro, and when I got them, or maybe it was another set, they came with all different size, the little
Four different
rubbery
sizes.
things. And I tried, so I called, it didn't work. It would not work. And I called Apple and they tried to walk me through this and that, and it never got to where that system worked. And she said, and I said, well, couldn't I take it to the Apple store, in person? Maybe they could figure out what's wrong. She said, no, they're not allowed to. It's some kind of law that it would be a medical product or something. So
Did you get the new 3s or did you get the 2?
Well, I've had 2 for a long time. I'm about to get a 3, but they never have a sale on them.
No, they won't have a sale on them for a while. So they're blowing out the 2s, even though they're still selling them. So the 3s are supposed to be a completely different shape to fit your ear canal better and have 5 tips, and they have the memory foam. So they're supposed to be better at fitting. But
well, I hope so.
So are 3s the hearing aids also?
Hearing aids only in the Pro 2s and 3s.
2.
No, and 3, he said.
Yeah, 2s and the 3s, the Pros.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the only ones that have the hearing aids. Now, there's also the AirPod 4s, which don't have the tips on them that are changeable, and they do noise canceling without the tips. How they do that, I don't know. And those are available with noise cancellation or without noise cancellation. The ones without are under $100, but I don't know why you wouldn't get the AirPod Pro 2s for $129.
Yeah, I saw it.
That's a deal.
And the thing is that it comes with this case that recharges it twice.
Right.
So I went way out there and I did take the charger, but all I had to do was put it back in the case and it charged it for me.
The AirPods run down, you put them in the case. I think you can recharge them I think the new 3s supposedly they say, okay, the batteries last longer in the AirPods, but when you put them in the case, they'll recharge less times than the 2. So you're effective, you take them with you, the most you can use them is less than the 2s, because the 2s will charge them 4 times, because the case is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They're different too. The 2s have a button on the back, like she was saying, that turns on the blinking light. The 4s, you tap on the front. There's no button on the back, so it's
something like that.
And the case is much smaller on the 4s, with the difference in size between a Pro 2 and a 4. Considerably different size. These sound very well. These don't have noise cancellation. These are the basic 4s. They sound good. No noise cancellation or hearing aids or any of that stuff. But they sound the same. They sound really good.
But the hearing aids is what's really nice. I mean, with my damaged ear and almost whole bunch loss, they just adjust. I mean, it's amazing. It's I just
The
don't
only
know what.
bad thing is, okay, so they don't fit as well, and all day they fall out if you don't have some.
Yeah,
But
that's
also, you can't. The batteries don't last. My hearing aids, they last them for 24 hours. So I just put them in, and you forget they're even in there sometimes, and they
but
just
outside of that,
they don't fall out. But they sound like crap. Literally, I can't. I hate them. It's good for hearing something just so you can hear it. Supposed to connect to the iPhone, sounds terrible. Connects to the computer for Zoom, sounds terrible. TV, terrible. I carry these
That,
around in my pocket, so if the phone rings, I put these in and talk on the phone. If I don't have them, I take my hearing aids out and hold the phone up because the hearing aids on the phone are so terrible.
well, that's
really,
terrible to hear that the hearing aids are so bad.
They're
huh?
not a quality sound.
Oh,
Mm.
I have them. Well, I know, John. I don't have the same experience
With the hearing aids?
with when the phone and I answer the phone and stuff.
Well, maybe it's my hearing aids. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even. Matter of fact, I'll tell you, even when somebody sends me text, it'll announce that somebody sent me text, and I will have it read, and it unless I don't, you hear a lot better than I do.
Well, so these are the Costco hearing aids you got? They came in, and they were 1,500 bucks.
Yeah. I'm going over there in a couple of days.
Oh,
But yeah,
these are the ones
that's
you
that's
tested, and then they had to order them.
right.
Yeah.
Got to get trained. And I don't know. And they don't provide uh noise cancellation.
Yeah, mine don't. Hearing aids don't either. So when I'm in a really, like at the memorial service I went to, so there's 100 people there, and they're all yakking, and it's like in a restaurant, everybody's
It was
talking. I hear
horrible.
all this background noise and people talking at the table. I can't hear with the hearing aids. It's just everything's loud.
So,
Mm.
but anyway,
Are there any brands that maybe can filter the voice you're trying to hear more
I'm
clearly?
sure there are. You can get hearing aids that are $10,000.
Well,
Well,
yep. I've mentioned this before. I got mine at Costco, which is the largest distributor of hearing aids in the United States. And I think for around 2K, I got ones that'll do all kinds of stuff. They'll filter out the stuff behind you, they'll filter out background noises.
Yeah.
You can put your phone in the middle of a table and they'll pick it up from your phone and put it right to your hearing aids. Um, yeah, you don't have, and you can adjust it all on your own. I had customers that spent, like you said, 5 to 10 grand on them, and every time they had to be adjusted, you had to go back and make an appointment with your audiologist. Whereas Costco, you don't.
What
Well,
The
what
downside
brand do
of
you have,
what
Mike?
is it?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was
most of them have, like, even the ones I got from the county has an app on the phone that you
yeah,
know
done
do
with
stuff
that.
with.
Mine's
Yeah.
Rexton or something.
What is
What
it?
is it?
Rexton, Rexton.
Hmm.
But you can just go to Costco, make an appointment, and then they've got them right there, and they'll let you put them in and wear them around for at least around the store, and possibly take them home for a day or two and see if you like them. If they
You
don't,
know,
Mine are called, the app is OTICON.
Oricons, that's what I have.
That's the app.
Yeah.
Mike,
OTICON.
which Costco did you get it from?
the
Concord?
I happen to get these at the one in Concord off Detroit and
I
Monument.
know. That's where I'm getting mine from, and they're pushing Jabra.
Well, they can push,
Jabra,
you know. Uh,
Okay, okay.
Go there and ask, okay, you want to try these, and these? I want something that was Bluetooth accessible. I wanted this, and I wanted that other feature. And they said, okay, it's going to be these. And
Thanks.
My problem is if they're too adjustable, I would constantly be tinkering with it. Like tweak it just a little more. Nope.
Everybody needs a hobby, Ken. Tell ya.
So this is sort of on the topic of the AirPods because that was in the video. When we're done with that, we'll go to general Q&A. Any more discussion about the AirPods? No? Everybody happy with the AirPod discussion?
With the Apple ones, I am.
Okay,
I get a lot of use out of those. Although my wife doesn't think so.
So if you're thinking hearing aids cost $1,500, try the AirPods for $129 for 30 days. Actually, if you buy them from Amazon, I believe Amazon has all till the first of the year. So they're actually 30 days now is the first of the year.
Well, Black Friday is coming up.
Yeah, it's till after the holiday, first of the year, and his return, I think, is extended maybe on Amazon, but check when you buy. Yeah, the first set I bought of the AirPods, I tried them, and I forget what happened, but I sent them back. And then when they went on sale, for $169 or something. I said, okay, I'll get them for that. That's a deal. Now they're $129. God knows for how long.
Yeah, that's where I got mine for. So, well, about a year ago for $129.
I can't wear in ear like the iPods because the way my ear canal is built, I get no bass at all.
Well, they told me there's different. That's the reason some people have the ones that go in your ear and some people have the ones that go behind your ear.
Yeah, mine are behind.
So are mine. But they said it's because what range you can hear and what you can't hear. I have trouble hearing the lower half of the spectrum, and so they said we need it back here. If you can't hear the higher tones, you get to wear it in your ear.
I thought the behind the ear was so it's better to pick up the ambient sound. And
I'm telling you what they told me. I'm not an audiologist. I went there, blah, 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 and he showed me these, and I said, why not? And he says, it depends on what you can and can't hear. Okay. The problem of course, was I wear glasses. So it's like, okay, I got glasses and a hearing aid going behind my ear. That was okay. But if I wanted to wear a ball cap, I got to sacrifice something.
Or a mask.
A mask, right.
You need a second set of ears. That's what
Some
I
amplification.
Between glasses and hearing aids and a mask when we needed to wear them, my ears were getting tired.
The mask and the hearing aids don't work.
Yeah, some amplification does bone conduction as primary source for getting the sound to your brain.
So I noticed this is weird. If I'm laying in bed watching TV and I got a pillow propped up, if I turn my head and I press my ear against the pillow accidentally, I'll get the bass because it starts bone conduction, even though they're not that kind, and I can actually tell the difference. Noticeably.
Well, years ago, Macworld sure had a booth where they would custom fit your in-ear pods, and they did one on me, and I says this still doesn't work. And finally, years later, when I went to an audiologist, they explained why, the nature of my ear canal.
Well, Leo said on when I used to watch Twit, he had some custom earworms where they go and they pour stuff in your ear and take a mold of your ear so it does fit.
That's what they did.
They didn't. It still didn't work?
Still didn't work.
Really?
And they couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. And as I say, some years later, I mentioned it to an audiologist and they explained why. Because I'd gone in for examinations. And they said, my ear canal doesn't curve like most people, it's straighter.
I know I've got a couple of friends that are hunters, and their earplugs, they go get them custom fit. So they can shoot rifles and shotguns without going deaf.
My fault was
I would put ones over my ears for them.
Well, yeah.
My fault was playing my audio system at 106 and 107 dB when I was young.
Oh, yes. You and I both.
That was my hobby, setting up audio systems. So I built a big one for home and I cranked it up.
Ah,
My God.
Okay, so shall we go on to another topic and go to general Q&A? Stop the recording? Yay? Yay or
yes.
nay?
Yes.
Yes. I kind of thought
Yes.
we were on general Q&A, to tell you the truth.
All right, well, we're still talking about whatever. Okay, so I will, DVMUG members, if you're watching, you can see the general Q&A by getting the link on the BBS. So we'll see you there.